Wow, what a chapter. It took 25 years, and we're finally here. The first emperor, apart from Whitebeard, has fallen. We're truly getting closer and closer to the end of One Piece. On the cover page we see Niji and Yonji recalling their fight against Big Mom. I can just hope that we don't see Pedro alive in these cover pages. Please Oda, don't pull another fake death. He had such a perfect death. Chapter starts out at the spot where the last chapter ended, with the kid using his cannon to blast Big Mom away through the hole that was created by Law. I have seen people complaining about Kid not using variety of attacks, but personally I don't find it to be issue as he is the guy who focuses more on the strength and power of his attacks, instead of the different variety of attacks. Similar to Kaido, who has been spamming Thunder Bag with this whole arc, rarely having any different type of attack. In this fight against Kid and Law, we can see that Big Mom is not truly a genius fighter. She relies on her brute strength too much, as she never had any real challenge in her life. Many people have complained that they don't like that she didn't use her awakening, but to me, it makes perfect sense as she never had to use her devil fruit to its full potential. People were always afraid of her monstrous tankiness and strength, which she did demonstrate by taking direct hits against Law's and Kid's strongest attacks, and yet still going strong. But in the end, she overestimated herself, as she thought that she could intimidate Law and Kid, like in the last chapter, where she said that she'll take their attacks head on, as she is Big Mom, and after taking their hits, she tries to pretend that their attacks tickled her, even though in the last chapter she screamed, "Not this again." After thinking she actually intimidated them, she tries to use her most useless ability. She asks them whether they want to be her slaves or give her 50 years of lifespan. Of course, this ability never actually worked on any of the main characters, as they don't give a damn about Yonkos. So Law is like, "Shut the hell up Big Mom, you're annoying," and he uses his new ability to silence anyone who is standing in his R-room. This R-room and the ability to silence anyone who stands in it is a nice tribute to Rosinante, who had a devil fruit called Calm Fruit, a paramecia type devil fruit, which gave user the ability to create a room in which all sound is cancelled. Even the name, R-Room, which probably stands for Rosinante's room, is such a nice tribute by Law. And similarly to Luffy's Red Hawk, which was Luffy's way of making a tribute towards his fallen brother Ace. We don't know exactly how this R-Room works, as Law's abilities are to manipulate material in the room he creates, so it does not make a lot of sense how he would be able to silence everything in the room. My first thoughts were that he used his ability to affect the vocal cords of Big Mom, but after Big Mom fell through the hole into the armory, and as she tried to grab herself to stop falling, she says that nothing she touches makes any sound, so I have no idea how this ability works. Law's devil fruit is for a reason called the ultimate devil fruit, and it definitely wouldn't surprise me if this was the devil fruit that Gorosei were talking about in the previous chapters, as his devil fruit is awakened, can grant immortality, and has insane variety of different abilities, and world government wanted to buy it for 5 billion berries, even though it was said that this fruit actually costs a lot more. After falling through the hole, she starts blaming Roger for all of this, as Roger was the one who inspired all these brats to come to the New World. I find it ironic that in the last chapter, she was so confident about defeating everyone from the New Age who came to challenge her, and now that she has lost, she starts blaming Roger. She was always confident in her strength and power, and she always wanted more territories to rule, more subordinates, even more technology and science on her side, just so her crew would become the strongest, thinking that strength was what was necessary to become the Pirate King. She never actually did this for adventure, she never took any risks, always taking things with her strength, and always being selfish. She always sat in her chateau on Whole Cake Island, waiting for things to be delivered for her. Similar to Kaido, they both believe that they're close to becoming pirate kings, just because they were Yonkos, and held many territories, and had many allies, and their strength only grew with age, but the truth was, more stronger they became, the dream of becoming the pirate king went away further away. They became lazy, and lost the true spirit of being a pirate, always sitting in one place waiting for people with dreams to come. They were only there to crush the spirits of those who came looking for One Piece, never realizing they can actually reflect on those with the broken spirits, as they have lost the sight of their goal too. And it can be seen in her words when she wonders why didn't Roger just tell her what One Piece was, and how to get there. Like a spoiler addict who cannot wait few days for chapter to drop, she wanted to be spoiled on everything. She never wanted to do it the hard way. She never had to do anything in her life the hard way. Everything was given to her. And now people came with the power to dethrone her, with the goal still in their sight, and she starts blaming others. She is still the same ignorant brat she was many years ago, with only thing that changed being her strength. After her ranting, she falls down through the hole along with the explosives. She says that this will not be enough to kill her, and we see a giant explosion. My guess is that she has will of P, and she will survive this. Many people have said that people in Flower Capital will for sure hear this explosion and evacuate, but you can actually see on the panel that Law's R room is still around the explosion, cancelling all the sounds, so there is no way that they can hear it. Though they could still see the giant explosion, but if they didn't spot the giant island approaching them, who knows if they'll see giant explosion. We'll see in the next few chapters. During the chapter, we also saw Brook running away with Robin, so there go all the theories that the Grim Reaper was Brook playing a prank on Zoro. I never understood those theories really. It wasn't even the right moment for Oda to pull such a comedy part, but anyways, we also see Zoro falling down the island and no Grim Reaper in sight, so there is much higher chance that this was actually just a part of his hallucination, as Chopper was worried about the side effects of the drugs Zoro took, and right after we saw Grim Reaper, and now he's nowhere to be seen. One thing that I'd like to add is that Zoro is seen on his stomach in this chapter, even though in the chapter where Grim Reaper showed up, he was on his back, so who knows, maybe Grim Reaper was real. If it was actually someone, I'd guess it was actually Doc Q from Blackbeard Pirates, as he was already seen with Scythe before. Now some people will say that his scythe is double-bladed, but there was a time skip, and just like any blade, scythes could be graded, and Doc Q might have just gotten a better graded scythe during the time skip. On top of that, Doc Q's epithet is Shinigami, or Death God. So there is a chance for this to happen, though very little. At the end of the chapter, we finally get confirmation on something that many fans suspected for many years, and that is that Joy Boy was friends with Zunesha. This even supports the idea that Joy Boy also had the voice of all things. Maybe at the end of this arc, Momo will talk to Zunesha, and we will get some huge lore drop that will blow our minds. Anyways, this was my review of the chapter, my first review of any chapter, ever, nice and short. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like and subscribe.